I feel like the process of digging is typically pretty mystified. I don't really see that many people talking about how they find music in concrete terms, so I'm gonna show you some ways that I find music. So I'm gonna explain a few online tools, including Discogs search and style terms, and I use this to create a degree of randomness to my digging. It also helps me find music that sits between stylistic categories and genres. So why Discogs? Discogs has the most complete catalog of all the platforms, so I find it a good place to start from and then narrow accordingly. I think it helps me when I'm feeling in a rut about looking for music. It also kind of uses the fact that a lot of the music I enjoy is really difficult to categorize, and it uses some of the weaknesses of categorization to find music that doesn't fit into one label. So I started doing this mostly during the pandemic when I couldn't go into physical stores, and digging online is great, especially for newer music, but I was kind of missing this kind of random effect you get from going into physical stores. So I also started to notice that the style term abstract was being assigned to lots of my favorite records. And at first, I just didn't really understand why, because it didn't really seem like a lot of the music was that abstract. But then I looked on Discogs' style description, and it says abstract generally describes a type of electronic music that doesn't fit into any other category. And basically, I found that abstract in combination with other search terms can return some pretty interesting results. So I'm going to show you how that works. So to get to the search page, you press the magnifying glass, which might be pretty straightforward, but there you go. And I like using the style terms. You can click all and it will show you a list of all of the style terms here. I'm going to start out with abstract, and I'm going to choose another one. So everyone knows that I like shoegaze, so let's look. All right, so I'm clicking shoegaze, and let's take this one step further. I'm gonna do house. All right, there's also which house. And what's cool is it also shows you how many results will be returned from each refinement. So you can keep on refining it further, but I feel like this is enough for now. It now shows you the results and it sorts by what's trending. You can change it. So usually I kind of scroll down a little bit, and yeah, all these covers look pretty interesting. I'm gonna choose this one. And yeah, this is a pretty cool Mark Van Hoen alias, and it's a pretty interesting record. I'm gonna play you one of the tracks. So one of the cool things about older records now is a lot of people are choosing to upload them to BandCamp. So generally the first thing I'll do is try and search just on Google and see what comes up. And yeah, so this one is actually on BandCamp, and it's cool to use Discogs to find it because none of the search terms are included here. So unless you follow this artist, it'd be pretty hard to find it. Another really cool tool that I use within BandCamp is this BandCamp Tempo Adjust plugin that was made by my friend Bobby, Misery Confusion. I think everyone should add it. It's such a cool tool. It BPMs every track on BandCamp, and so you can tell what the BPM is. It's pretty pretty awesome. I'm gonna start playing this one. You also can slow the pitch and see what it sounds like, which is another super cool thing. I think that sounds amazing. All right. You can either even increase it to plus or minus 16. Yeah, I would probably play this at this tempo. It sounds pretty crazy. All right. So yeah, that's how I found that one. So let's go back and try a different type of search. I'm kind of interested in looking for a different kind of vibe right now. So I'm gonna go back, gonna check out, let's try it. Let's use abstract again. Abstract, all right. And this time I'm gonna go for, let's go for techno. And I often find combining like pretty disparate style terms to yield some kind of interesting results. So let's try disco. Let's see. All right. Okay. And when it returns kind of a lot of results, I like to go through by decade, because then I can kind of look at each record that way, and it kind of minimizes the clutter there. So yeah, lots of really cool 90s looking covers in here. Click on this one. And yeah, this is an Urdial Discs record, but before this method I hadn't really heard of it before. Has these terms combined. I'm gonna play it. Yeah, it's pretty weird and pretty cool. I think it's a really sick record. Yeah, so another thing I like to do, like when I found something like this, is check the label page. And I think what's interesting about Discogs, they'll often have a lot of information on the label. That's either input from the label itself or fans. And yeah, this label is very cool. I also read in the comments, like, it was one of the first to embrace Napster and kind of have a free music policy and allowed online downloads for all of its recordings. And sure enough, you can see here, like, they have a website and you can download anything from their discography here, which is pretty cool because the record we just looked at is going for 136 euros on Discogs, which is pretty wild. So you cannot feed the sharks, and you can, just download it online if you just looked at the label. So, all right, I'm going to show one more here. This one, I'm not going to use abstract. I use this technique to find records for a mix, where I was looking for kind of proto dubstep sounds from pretty early on. So I tried a bunch of different terms to see what they would come up with. So let's try dub. Let's try dub, and let's try electro. All right, electro, cool. And let's try synth pop. There's the synth pop right there. Okay, so surprising amount has come up. I'm gonna go into the 1980s because that's kind of a long time ago. And yeah, keep scrolling, and
on this one here. So this record is really cool. I found it, this way. I'm gonna show it to you. Pretty miraculous that this record is from 1981 and it sounds like this. I mean, it definitely has a steppy quality to me. It's pretty haunting and sounds really unique, actually. Yeah, and you can see it's also been reissued, which is great. So that's kind of one of the ways that I look for music. I hope it helps you, and happy digging.